There you go. So what I thought we'd do first, let me just get everything said on this thing first. We chant, because we're celebrating Jayapataka Maharaj's appearance day today. So I thought we'd chant the prayers, O Hey Vaishnava Thakur first. And then everybody can say a few words. And if we have time, we'll get on to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay? Let me just send a message out. Okay, now. All right. I got microphone. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, Haribol. Ready? Let's see. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dwayara Sagar Heda Se Karuna Gauri. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dwayara Sagar Heda Se Karuna Gauri. Diya pada chaya chodaya mahya tomara charana jari. Diya pada chaya chodaya mahya tomara charana jari. Jaya Begadami, Jaya Dosha Shori, Jaya Guru Devo Dase. Jaya Begadami, Jaya Dosha Shori, Jaya Guru Devo Dase. Jaya Satsanga, Deo Ego Mare, Mosachi Sangira Vashe. Jaya Satsanga, Deo Ego Mare, Mosachi Sangira Vashe. Ekake Amara, Nai Pai Bolo Hori Nama Sangir Tanone. Ekake Amara, Nai Pai Bolo Hari Nama Sangir Tanone. Tumi Kripa Kore, Shara Binudiya Deha Krishna Namajane. Tumi Kripa Kore, Shara Binudiya Deha Krishna Namajane. Krishna say Tomara, Krishna Dite Paro, Tomara Shikati Akshay. Krishna say Tomara, Krishna Dite Paro, Tomara Shikati Akshay. Amito Kangala, Krishna Krishna Bole, Jai Tava Pache Pache. Amito Kangala, Krishna Krishna Bole, Jahe Tava Pache Pache. O Hey Vaishnava Thakura, Goya Rasagar, Veda Se Karuna Kori. O Hey Vaishnava Thakura, Goya Rasagar, Veda Se Karuna Kori. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravanikacharya, all Satara Satashi Shimad, His Divine Grace, Abhaya Charanara Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrind Ki Jai, Namacharya, Srila Hridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopatna Sai Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturadam Ki Jai Jagadavasami Ki Jai Yubadamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Vachani Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashatte Shatardi Obagana Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shigavena Maha. I will read the translation of this poem by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. O Venerable Vaishnava, Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I'm simply running behind you shouting, Krishna, Krishna. So today we're very pleased to be celebrating the appearance day of His Holiness Jagapataka Maharaj. And I'll say a few words and then we'll give the devotees an opportunity to say something about Jagapataka Maharaj. And of course, I'm very fortunate that I practically 2 or 3 times a week I get a chance to associate with Jagapataka Maharaj, even now, by the mercy of Zoom. So I'm on several committees with him. One of the most memorable committees is the Vaishnava Dikshi Guru Committee. And for those of you who don't know, I think it's very important for all of you to know that he's very much in favor of ladies giving initiation. I think all his disciples should understand that. And of course, there's me on that committee, and Pragosh Prabhu and Uttama Prabhu, and Jagapataka Maharaj and myself. So anyway, and we are facing, it's like a battle of Kurukshetra. We are facing the onslaught. I can't mention who's on the other. I guess I can mention who's on the other side. It's not too confidential. Bashu Ghosh and his army. So on the other side, and it's wonderful to see how much of a fighter Jayapataka Maharaj is, that one time they put me in the room, breakout room with Basha Ghosh, and I was almost ready to jump off the cliff after an hour with him. But Jayapataka Maharaj is a real fighter. And really, that's been my experience with him throughout all these years, and I've known him for, I think, longer than anybody here has known him. He was given the whole duty by Srila Prabhupada to establish Sridham Mayapur, which he's done, and to basically make all of Bengal and Bangladesh Krishna conscious, which, practically speaking, he's well known there. So well known they got the Chief Minister of Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, to come out and she's not exactly a Vaishnava, and he got her to offer arti to the deities. That's pretty good. And then also get our Sridham Mayapur project accepted as a tourist place, which means we can have all that property and do amazing things in Sridham Mayapur. So, and, it's wonderful by his efforts. Sridham Mayapur has been developed, and Sridham Mayapur is the place that Srila Prabhupada said where he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bombay, of course, is his office, and Vrindavan is his home, but Mayapur is the place where he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he assigned Jayapataka Maharaj that particular duty to develop Sridham Mayapur, and he's done a wonderful job. And above all, I want to appreciate his great determination in all sorts of circumstances. I mean, in Mayapur in the early days, we were attacked in so many ways. I was there one time when the Muslim farmers came with their sais, and they were just holding them in the air and screaming at us. Thousands of them coming at us, and we had to take shelter in the building, lock the doors. And Jayapataka Maharaj he was just like a lion. He wasn't scared. Even one of the other sannyasis, it wasn't me, was scared. He was shivering. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? But Jayapataka Maharaj was just like bold. And then we scared off. I didn't scare them off, but we scared off all the invaders. And I've just seen him so bold, and then in all sorts of circumstances, he never loses his enthusiasm and his determination. I mean, he's an example of someone in the most adverse situation who continues serving enthusiastically, like we have this verse in the Upadesha Amrita, Utsahanistya daryat tatat karma pavartanat, enthusiasm, determination, patience, and everything like that. And he manifests that in spite of, the physical condition that he's in, where most people would be just like giving up. And, we all know he's gone through COVID and other things in spite of, in that condition. And he's he's one of the most active people in the GBC conference. He's one of the most prolific writers on the GBC conference, speakers, writers, everything like that. It's amazing to see his determination to serve Prabhupada and his enthusiasm. And so that enthusiasm comes from the spiritual platform. There's no other answer to that. And so we're very fortunate to have such a great Vaishnava in our society serving Srila Prabhupada, setting an example for the other devotees of how to be determined to serve their spiritual master. So, anyway, we're very fortunate. One of the temples that I supervise is practically all Jayapataka Maharaj's disciples. That's in New Orleans. We call New Orleans New Bengal because we have one token whitey there. Who's not from Bengal, but everybody else is from Bengal. And they dress the deities, take care of the deities so nicely, and because of that dedication to Jayapataka Maharaj, they're so dedicated to the deities. I mean, it's some of the best deity worship in the movement there in New Orleans. I mean, it's definitely like Bengal in many other ways too, which I won't mention, but still, it's amazing. It's just simply amazing how his disciples are doing, how dedicated they are. So we're fortunate to have such a nice God brother, and we pray that he stays on the planet for a very, very long time to serve Srila Prabhupada, so we have this nice camaraderie between us. Uh, and basically, he and I are all 100% of the same opinion on different controversial issues. Like the Vaishnavi Diksha Guru issue, we're just like both exactly the same. I mean, in practically all the issues, we have the same opinion, so I'm very fortunate to have his association. So congratulations on his appearance. What, he is 72? 72, yeah, because I know he's the same age as me. That's how I guessed it. And he was also appeared on an Akadashi. So that was like Friday, right? You know, and I talked to him, he says, oh, we're Akadashi brothers. Because we both appeared on Akadashi. Well, I didn't appear, I was born. Anyway, he appeared. So, so we're very happy to be commemorating, celebrating his appearance. So who would like to speak? Actually, Jagapurush, would you like to say that? This Jagapurush is the senior Vaishnava. And he spent time with Jayapataka Maharaj too.
Hare Krishna. So my first meeting with Jayapataka Maharaj was in 1970. I was in Chicago. I had been sent there from Detroit to renovate the building and do some carpentry work, build the altar and all. So he wasn't there when we first opened the temple. But after about 3 months, when I was just in the last few days that I was there, Jayapataka Das Brahmachari came to the temple. And I didn't realize this until maybe a year or so ago when I was down in Alachua and Maharaj was there. And we had a wonderful kind of reunion because I hadn't seen him for so many years. And I didn't know that he was actually sent there to Chicago by Srila Prabhupada to take charge of the temple. And I had finished my service there, which was the renovation work, and then I went on to New Vrindavan. This was in the summer of 1970. So I didn't have a lot of time to, have his association, but one thing I remember very clearly was a few of us were standing and talking just casually. I can't remember what the subject was. I don't think it was anything relating to philosophy. It was something just practical, maybe had some directions to someplace. And I said, and I had an idea that I thought I could clarify something in the discussion. And I said, well, I think, and as soon as the word think came out of my mouth, Jayapataka Swami looked at me and his eyes, don't speculate. So that was my first real interaction with Maharaj, and even though it was quite intimidating, I came to greatly appreciate his intensity. Really, he's so intense. And then, of course, I had the opportunity many times to see him in Mayapur, and then during his visits down in Juhu, during that I was in Juhu. And I always had such great appreciation for his absolute determination to serve in all circumstances, as Maharaj was saying. I was also at the temple when he was attacked in the airport. I'm not sure if that was in Delhi or, do you know which airport that was? Was that in Spain when he was attacked? And his throat was slit. I mean, within a micrometer of his life, of the jugular vein. It was a terrible, terrible cut. Someone had jumped on his back and slit his throat. And even that didn't even slow him down. I mean, he went to the hospital, he got stitched up and carried on his service. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And to witness him now, my appreciation for him has just grown 1,000 times to see how he carries on with such incredible physical challenges, and he just never slows down. So I was very, very happy to see him when I was down in Florida, and he's full of love. He's very strict, very stern, but he is full of so much love. And I really felt that more than ever before in our meeting, how much, it meant to me to get his association, but it seemed to me a lot to him to see me as well. So that was really wonderful. So he's a great testament to the best of Srila Prabhupada's disciples who will serve under any circumstances without any fault, without any hesitation. Srila Jayapataka Maharaj ki jai.
Maybe someone can bring.
Thank you. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namina Nama Acharya Padaya Niti Kripa Pradayane Korakata Damadana Kramatari. It's really hard to pick what to say about my Diksha Guru, because he just has so many wonderful qualities. And I just wanted to say that whatever he does, he follows Srila Prabhupada's instruction. When he was a young sannyas, he went to Srila Prabhupada and he complained that women are chasing him. And Srila Prabhupada gave him instruction to gain weight. So he did that because in that way, Srila Prabhupada thought he is going to be more protected. Also, you hear comments within ISKCON, he's accepting so many disciples, giving initiation. But again, that's under the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada told him, you can have more than 50,000 disciples. And he is doing that, not whimsically, not because of any other reason, but to fulfill the instruction of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. So when he wanted to join ISKCON, his father was not pleased, and he told him, I'll send you in the army and you die in Vietnam. And when Guru Maharaj told that to Srila Prabhupada, he said, yeah, you can join army, but you can join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army. You can be in that army. Also, everybody knows that Srila Prabhupada gave him one of his personal rings, and the other one he gave to George Harrison. So, which shows that my Guru Maharaj really did something, to deserve that ring. And one also funny story, when he was in Mayapur developing the project, and he was also involved in construction work and stuff, building those buildings and stuff. And he thought, I'm a sannyas, I should spend more time studying and, giving classes and stuff like that. So he went to Srila Prabhupada and he said, but Srila Prabhupada, like a sannyas, maybe I should do more studying and giving classes and not so much construction work. And Srila Prabhupada chastised him and shouted at him, what do you think that these buildings are less important? And so, and he kind of got scared. And it was a funny story how my Guru Maharaj got chastised by Srila Prabhupada that time. And also yesterday I mentioned in front of the devotees, I like to repeat how I was supposed to get Brahminical initiation in Mayapur for Gaur Purnim, more than 20 years ago, but the recommendation of the temple authorities was delayed. So I did not show on the yagya. It was hundreds and hundreds devotees were supposed to get first, second. I was supposed to get second. But feeling uncomfortable that the recommendation was still not there, I did not show up. So next, day, he came to me and he said, Govinda Lilamrita, what happened? Why you did not show up on the initiation? And so I said, Guru Maharaj, I did not feel easy and stuff. So after a couple of, and he said, so what? Like the recommendation was not still, but I know you. I mean, I was like ready to give it to you. But after a couple of months, he went to Subotica and I went there. And there were only 2 devotees getting first initiation, and I was the only one getting Brahminical. So he did all the yatra, he did the fire sacrifice, he put the woods, he made the fire, he did the mantras, how you call this with the, the mudras, everything he did. And I could not believe, oh my God, he has thousands and thousands and thousands of disciples, and I got the mercy he did like the fire sacrifice, the yagya, personally, like for 3 of us. So many devotees also said, like when they see him, that they feel like so happy, like after initiation. We know that when we get like our first initiation with special and stuff, we are just so enthusiastic and happy. And so many devotees told me he's just so full of love. Wherever he goes, he makes everybody so happy and so inspired. And they said, we just feel like seeing your guru, that like we just got initiation. We just feel so, so happy. So I will stop here. There are many devotees. They can say many other beautiful things. And thank you so much for listening.
I feel very fortunate because I get to hear the glories of Jayapatak Maharaj because of my wife. And she tells me so many stories of initial days, how he worked very hard to build the Mayapur. So once there was flooding in Mayapur, like in the initial days, and there was no bhoga. So Maharaj had to cross the river, and the river was completely flooded. So there were no boats either. So Maharaj swam across the river and went to the other side, got all the bhoga in the big sacks, bags, and put them everything on the boat, and tied the boat to his hips and swam across again back to the Mayapur, and got all the bhoga for the temple because this was initial days and there was no bhoga that time, and he was very bold and very courage. And second time there was when building Mayapur temple, the construction workers, they went on strike, said they demanded something, something, maybe more money or something. Then Maharaj started building on his own, he started putting bricks and cement, and he got all his god brothers, and they started building the temple. And all these workers, they saw and they got scared, okay, they're taking our jobs. So they all came back running and they started building the temple. So, and he also remembers, it's a very inspiring thing about him for me is he also remembers every devotee. Like even it's very unusual that he remembered me as well, when I went in 2017. It's so amazing that his memory power is so sharp, though he is in that condition. And also what inspires me about him is like his love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's completely one-pointed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that really inspires me. Like my Gurudev is one-pointed towards Govardhan, and Jayapatak Maharaj is one-pointed to Gauranga. So I feel very fortunate that I have these two sweet things in my life. So I'm very blessed that though I aspire to be in association of Panchatattva, but I can see that their associates are right here, and I get their association. So I feel so very fortunate. And his classes are very, very simple and straightforward, to the point, and it's very easy to digest even the very complicated philosophical points. And also, he also stresses on following all the rules and regulation very nicely, whether it is Bhishma Panchak or Kartik Vrata or Purushottam Vrat. So he goes everything in very detailed, and he guides everyone, not just his disciples, everyone he guides equally and helps everyone in devotional service. And also in initial days in Bangladesh, he had undergone very austere conditions. He used to eat puffed rice and water and preach in Bangladesh in initial days. So he had gone a lot of austere situations too. So he's very glorious, and I'm very fortunate that I know him, and I'm in his association, and I always want to be at his lotus feet, along with all his God brothers and Srila Prabhupada and Panchatattva. And yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet. Happy Vyasa Puja to you. I don't know what to say because everybody is glorifying you, lots of things everybody know. But I just want to say, when we moved here 2005, we came here to the temple, when we met Krishna Maharaj, and we have temple here, everything here. Then when we came here, the devotees over here said, oh, you have first initiation, why can't you take a second initiation? We were like, we are not ready. We are not ready to take second initiation. So I was saying no. Then that year when we been to the Panihatti, when we met Guru Maharaj, the first thing you say that you are taking second initiation. We were like, oh no, we are not ready. Then he was like, no, bring the temple president's letter. We are at Panihatti Dham and away from, so we don't know. So Mother Krishna Priya, and I told this, Mother Krishna Priya said, you ask him that I was the temple president, if I can recommend, is that okay? Guru Maharaj said, yes, that's okay. And he said, okay, you're sitting for the second initiation tomorrow. So I'm just saying that, because of his mercy that we got, that blessings, and the same way, His Holiness Birsha Maharaj also here to support us. I know his health condition is, our Guru Maharaj's health condition is not good, so we're not getting much association. But I know when the first time when we heard Birsha Maharaj say that, I was with him that night, he is okay. So whenever we need some help, Birsha Maharaj also here, helping. So want to say that Guru Maharaj, you are, because of your blessings, because of your mercy, we are here. Whatever the way we could serve Sri Radha Kolakananda, that just because of your mercy, Guru Maharaj. So please bless us, guide us, so that way we can serve Sri Radha Kolakananda over here. And I wish you many, many, many Vyasa Pujas to come over with all these health issues or problems, when we think that you are struggling, but we know that you are happy with all these things to serve complete Srila Prabhupada's mission. You repeatedly say that I have to serve and finish that mission. So we just praying that you get that strength to finish whatever the mission you have to complete. And Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Thank you.
No? So who else would like to say a few words? Well, everyone's quiet. It's wonderful to be able to commemorate the appearance of a great Vaishnava. And, the Vaishnava sets an example of how we should serve Krishna in all circumstances. Like we were mentioning about his sadhana and about his strictness in all circumstances, he's preaching Krishna consciousness and never deviating. And many of us have so many excuses. I mean, he was there in the GBC conference when he was, I have the microphone here so they can hear me. He was there on the GBC conference near COVID. He was on not only the GBC conference, but he was on the Vaishnava Diksha Guru argument with Bashar Ghosh. And he was the only one who could tolerate him, not me, that's for sure. I had to see a doctor after being with Bashar Ghosh. But just like such determination. I mean, the rest of us would look for excuses, not to serve or just to take time off. I've never seen him take time off, even when he had severe COVID. Yeah, he was giving classes when he had COVID, and he was, I mean, right after the operation, I was with him at the hospital when he had his stroke. That was in Bombay. It was during the GBC meeting that he had this stroke. I was actually the last person with him. I wasn't the one who gave him the stroke, believe me. But I was with him that night, right before he woke up in the morning. But at that night, he and I had some, personal talks about different things, and he was expressing some anxiety. And the next morning, we all rushed to the hospital. This was during the GBC meeting. We all rushed to the hospital to see what was happening. And the doctors met with us, and the doctors said that you all have to face it. He's not recovering. We've never seen anyone recover like that. So all of us, I remember just being in this hospital. At that time, you could go in hospitals because there wasn't any COVID at that point. It was a first-class hospital in Mumbai. And there was, we were talking with each other, what are we going to do now? How can we, what's the next step? And everything like that. And everyone was really like upset and everything like that. And the doctor said there's no hope. And yet, he came out of it. And a physical condition that nobody comes out of. It was bleeding in the brainstem. And they can't actually, hemorrhagic stroke. They couldn't actually relieve the pressure because you can't go in there to relieve the pressure. And he came out of it. I mean, that shows determination. It's not just like, of course it's a miracle, but at the same time, it's a determination to stay because, the determination of one can actually determine whether one stays in the body or not. It's not just a physical or gross physical thing. There's actually a whole, I don't want to say mental state, but a spiritual determination state that actually can keep you in your body. I mean, look at, all right, just to give an example, Hiranyakashipu was able to live in the marrow of his bones because of his determination. And so, Jayapataka Maharaj is a great yogi. He was able to maintain his life where nobody else in that condition practically has ever been able to maintain their life. So that means, yogic power, Krishna's mercy, determination, all sorts of amazing qualities and energy and Shakti that I've never seen at any other time manifest. I mean, at least in my lifetime, I have not seen that sort of thing. So we can understand he's a very special personality who Prabhupada, is employing to carry out a very specific mission, perhaps one of the most, if not the most important mission to establish ISKCON's world headquarters. Because Sridham Mayapur is ISKCON's world headquarters. I mean, we have like 600, 800 acres of land by his direction. All this land was acquired. I mean, through great difficulty. We weren't even, could you put that back? I'm going to have to glue it, but please don't play with it because it's, with great difficulty, even though it was not, anyway, even it was very difficult to have so much land. I'm not going to get into the legal difficulties. He figured out how ISKCON could have so much land there. And then he was planning for all the exhibits there in Mayapur. I mean, I remember one time, and this is a little humorous time, since I'm the only one talking right now, that he said, he said to me, we were in Florida together, and he said, I really want to figure out what sort of exhibits to have in Mayapur. He said to me, would you go to Disney World with me? And of course, me, I'm just thinking, Disney World, fantastic. So there are two sannyasis going on a date. to Disney World, and we're going on these rides together. We dressed in Western clothes, obviously. We didn't want people to think the Hare Krishnas were in Maya. So actually, I also told them that I'll go with you if you pay for it, because I wasn't going to pay for it.
What year was it?
I forget which year it was. It was just, but it was in the 80s. I think it was probably 80s.
It was before his stroke.
Oh, way before the stroke. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was way before the stroke. And, and like talking, before he had the stroke, he would just like grab the devotees and hug them and practically crush them to death. Yeah. So we went on these rides, and after a while, my illusion was destroyed, and we're just sitting there like this. The whole world, it's a small world exhibit, sitting there and together in this cabin going through these different rides. I remember this. I thought the devotees would appreciate this story. And I said, this is miserable. He said, no, I chanted 120 something rounds, because he had this clicker. What we call a sheep counter. Some people call it a sheep counter. And so he's a clicker. He was chanting the rounds the whole time. He was on these rides. It was actually one of the most memorable experiences, not because of Disney World, but just being with him in that circumstance. And he was actually thinking, it wasn't Maya. Maybe I was in Maya, but he was thinking of planning how to do these exhibits in Sri Dham Mayapur, because he was very innovative. At the same time, he's strict, but he was very innovative. He wanted to have like first class, electronic things. Oh yeah, another time I went with him to an amusement park exhibit. Yeah, this was in New Orleans. We were both together in New Orleans. And they had this exhibit of all the amusement park manufacturers there. Convention, where they were showing everything off. Did I ever mention this to the devotees? I think I. So he invites me to go to that too. As his partner in crime. So we go there, and we're going through all these different things. I remember specifically both went into this device where you put on 3D glasses and the thing moves like you're going out into outer space. And I'm getting nauseous, really throwing up. I had to close my eyes through the thing. And he's saying, this would be great to have in Mayapur. We can take people, to the spiritual world and everything like that. So he's thinking of Krishna the whole time, and I'm just thinking, I got to get out of here. So these are some of the, I probably if I think about it, I can think of a lot more humorous experiences I've had with him, because he really has a wonderful sense of humor, too. So, and it was just, like Jagapurush talked about, very loving mood, wonderful sense of humor, and being very innovative insofar as trying to spread Krishna consciousness. Even in Mayapur, he wanted just to be very innovative. Okay. Yeah, there's a dome with a. Yeah, there's like a 360-degree exhibit there. So, and he wants rides and everything like that in Mayapur. If one looks at the master plan, it's quite amazing. Okay. Okay, Krishna Priya. Yeah, you won't be able to hear anything, though. No. Put her on the phone, let her say something. And then we could do the Pushpanjali after that.
Hare Krishna, please accept my obeisances. So I'd like to offer my respects to His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj today on the most glorious day of his appearance. I first came in contact with him in Miami in 1978, and when we moved on the beach in Miami, he used to come to the hotel there. He was, for most of us, considered to be the personification of the Holy Dham. Many of us had maybe only been to Mayapur once, and we might not be known that much about Gaura Leela. And then he would come and he would start telling these most beautiful Gaura Leela kathas, and everybody normally is used to having like a time schedule, but when Jayapataka Maharaj came, that was the end of all the time schedules for certain. And at one time we had this beautiful hotel in Miami Beach, and we had very beautiful, beautiful Gaura deities. They were like the movie star version, just exquisite. So the temple room was on the 7th floor, and the sun would be shining in on Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, and Jayapataka Maharaj. He would be telling the most beautiful, beautiful, in-depth pastimes from Gaura Leela. And for me, that was the most transformational experience, to hear him speak and just actually implant that desire in the heart to know who is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to be able to chant, to be able to preach. And as the devotees have been saying, his compassion is just like amazing. That was my experience. So he was this very great personality and very large in size. I was given the service one time of ironing his clothes, and they were like these amazing kirtas. But he was also like so, he paid so much attention even to the little people, like not just little in size, but those of us that were just new devotees, or just, we didn't have some big position. But immediately, as was said, he would see who we were, he would remember our name, and he always laughed at me. He would always laugh at me and make fun, and it was just so really, really beautiful. He had such a love for sports, and when we had the hotel on the beach, they would have these meetings there, and he would be out in the water, and he would have my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Vidayananda Maharaj, on his shoulders, and all the devotees would be having, the men would be having water sports. So he just always brought that mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that mood of Navadvip Dham, that mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And his love for Srila Prabhupada was just so strong. And as the devotee's been saying, that this nishta, having complete faith and carrying out the order of his spiritual master. Then I had a lot of his association in Atlanta. He was like co-manager there also with my spiritual master. And I just always remember him, like, again, giving long kirtans and lots of Gaura Leela, and the initiation sometimes would be like late at night. You never knew what was going to happen. And Savi Radha talked about her initiation, and there was another part of that story, because part of the story was that she had to answer a test. So I think it was like 10 o'clock at night. We were going over the whole like Bhakti Shastri type test and asking all these different questions and things. And I was just, I was really happy that he accepted my recommendation. There was a time when he used to come here also to North Carolina. And so since he had his stroke, I I haven't had his association. I've only, had that time when he was playing the big gigantic whompers and, throwing, bludgeons at everyone. But his determination to keep going and, just showing like it's like out of the Bhagavatam or out of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, one who is able to, not be absorbed in the body and just use the body to continue their service to Krishna. So I'm very, very grateful for that example that he has said, and I'm very thankful to have the association of such a great sadhu and all his wonderful disciples here that have assisted in our temple for so many years and brought that loving mood. So on this day, I'd like to just offer my respects and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I live right across the street and I should have gone over there, but sometimes things become, and sometimes you get used to listening at home. But I'm really happy to be there virtually. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sure.
Just a final thing that, even though back in 1970
Uh-oh.
suggested that I should not speculate, but I'm going to speculate, and I think I'm justified. And my speculation is that I believe that Jayapataka Maharaj has all the symptoms of someone who personally participated in Gaur Lila with Lord Chaitanya in Navadvip. I am absolutely convinced of it. And the fact that, he is so highly realized that he does not identify, obviously, he does not identify with his material body at all. I just wanted to mention that, and I think that he won't chastise me for speculating. Maybe he will, but I did it. Anyway, Hare Krishna.
There we go. Okay. Did you want to say something, Purva, or? What? What? 2 minutes. Okay, let Purva say that.
Since I only have 2 minutes, I'll give the most ecstatic encounter I had with Jayapataka Maharaj. First of all, he was very much addicted to serving the Vaishnavas. So on Gaur Purnim, he, in 2016, personally went to each devotee in his quarters up on top of the building and served out such with every single devotee. He asked them what they wanted and how much. And he did this with so much enthusiasm and so much love and devotion. And I just wanted to really thank him for his empowerment to distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world, and how he is definitely, like Prabhu Jagat Purush was saying, a part of Gaur Lila. And he exhibited that in every single interaction that he had with every single devotee. He never missed anyone, even the small or the big. And he loved prasadam, and he loved the 6 loving exchanges, and he brought it to a whole new level that we have never experienced. I feel very fortunate to have had his association over the years that I've known him. Since 1985, when he spoke Gaur Lila in Los Angeles, I became alive just hearing him. This person really is living and experiencing Gaur Leela. Jai Pataka Maharaj Ki Jai.
And then we do his pranam prayers. Now, maybe Govinda Lilamrita can recite the pranam prayers when we get to that point. Okay. So let's start. Om Gana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shigaro Shiyuta Parakamalam Shigurun Vaishnavamscha Shirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nivashesha Shunyavadi Pasyacha Dejatarane. Okay, Pranaman. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Jai Pataka Swamin Iti Namane. Second mantra. Namacharya Daya. Let Sabhi Radha look. Daya. Daya Daya Nayane. Murugavad. Amardaya. Okay, then we just continue. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shivarshavanavi Devi Goitaya Krupabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadja Shirupanuga Bhaktida Shigora Korana Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shimurtahe Dinatarane Rupanuga Vidudapa Siddhanta Vantaharane Namo Gorakishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtehe Vipralamba Prasambodhe Padambujaya Te Namaha Namo Bhaktivinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaurashakti Surupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gora Avirbhava Umestram Nirdeshta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyahevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattva Atmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tishe Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Jayatam Sudata Pangor Mamamanda Materati Matsarvashva Padambhujao Radha Madanamohana Divyad Vrindavanya Kalpa Drumadaha Srimad Ratnakara Singhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Prestalevi Sevyamana Smarami Sriman Rasa Rasarambe from Shivatap Tatastataha Karshan Venu Swanayar Gopir Gopinata Shri Estunaha Apta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, the two pranam mantras now. Sadhvi Radha, you want to do that? Or? No, responsively. Nama Om Prastaya Kale Mate Jayapataka Swami Dinamane Amacharya Padaya. Ayane. Madaya. Okay. Esha Pushpanjali. Esha Pushpanjali. Esha Pushpanjali. Jai. So Japataka Maharaj ki jai. Okay, and then pranam mantras responsively, twice more, but just once now. Okay. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Delay Jagata Goswami Namane Namacharya Padaya Vayane Regana Madaya Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Jai Srila Japataka Maharaj ki jai. And once more. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Jagata Goswami Namane Amacharya Padaya Dayane Amadaya Dayane Ishas Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Jai Japataka Maharaj ki jai. So, does it mean Arti or no? Just okay. So it was actually Friday was the day. Whoa, careful, careful. Well, but still, you got to fix it right here because it's going to damage the whole Prabhupada's Vyasa sun. It has to be dried up immediately. Immediately. It's very dangerous. It's all wood. So, there'll be a feast in honor of Jayapataka. So I thought it was appropriate that we would celebrate today and remember this great personality. It pleases Prabhupada very much when we recognize and realize the greatness of his great followers. And I'm very proud to have Jayapataka Maharaj as my spiritual brother. Very, very proud. You know, amazing devotees, you know, so many of my spiritual brothers, like two of them are here. They're great personalities, and I'm not worthy to be one of their brothers, but Krishna's blessed me with their association. All right, and there'll be a feast now, or kirtan? Jai.